Okay. So as the poem says, stanzas written in dejection near Naples. So it suggests that the background, the place, where the setting is related to the place Naples, which is in Italy. It's a small town near Venice in Italy. So these lines or this poem was written in a state of dejection when the poet was very depressed, was in a very low point of his life, and he had a lot of problems surrounding him. So that is the time when he has written this poem. So the poem also reflects all his pain and sorrow, and it also keeps that mood of pain and sorrow all through the poem. So we have to bear with this. It is not very heartening or inspiring, this poem. So but we have to sometimes also see this type of literature also based on melancholy and pain or sorrow and all. So this is also part of life. So anyway, so let us start with the poem. Did we read the poem? We didn't read the poem at all, isn't it? So we'll have one reading of the poem and then we will start with the discussing the poem. The sun is warm, the sky is clear, the waves are dancing fast and bright. Blue isles and snowy mountains wear the purple noon's transparent might. The breath of the moist earth is light, around its unexpanded buds, like many a voice of one delight. The winds, the birds, the ocean floods, the city's voice itself is soft, like solitude's. I see the deep's untrampled floor, with green and purple seaweed strewn. I see the waves upon the shore, like light dissolved in star showers thrown. I sit upon the sands alone. The lightning of the noontide ocean is flashing round me, and a tone arises from its measured motion. How sweet did any heart now share in my emotion? Alas, I have nor hope, nor health, nor peace within, nor calm around, nor that content surpassing wealth the sage in meditation found, and walked with inward glory crowned, nor fame, nor power, nor love, nor leisure. Others I see whom these surround, smiling they live and call life pleasure. To me that cup has been dealt in another measure. Yet now despair itself is mild, even as the winds and the waters are. I could lie down like a tired child and weep away the life of care, which I have borne and yet must bear, till death, like sleep, might steal on me, and I might feel in the warm air my cheek grow cold and hear the sea breathe over my dying brain its last monotony. Some might lament that I were cold, as I, when the sweet day is gone, which my lost heart, too soon grown old, insults with this untimely moan. They might lament, for I am one whom men love not, and yet regret, unlike this day, which when the sun shall on its stainless glories set, will linger though enjoyed like joy in memory yet. So this poem, the poet, he wrote in 1818 when he visited Naples with his wife Mary. This poem was written in November 1818. It was a climate of winter, and when he was in Naples, one fine day when he was sitting near the seashore and just introspecting and looking at the things, at his life, the way things are around him. So he was just in a meditative mood, and he was sitting near the seashore and just contemplating, and then he has written this poem. Okay. So let us try to see the very first stanza. Now, if you see the structure of this stanzas, you will see that how many lines are there in each stanza? How many lines are there? In each stanza, there are 9 lines.
9 lines.
10.
Yes, 9. There are 9 lines in every stanza. And how many stanzas are there? How many total stanzas are there? This is 1, this is 2.
5.
Yeah,
5.
3, 5. There are 5 stanzas and each stanza is 9 lines. And if you see the pattern of this rhyming also, A, B, like clear, bright, clear where, alternate or similar, clear where, bright might, like that, A, B. Then these are again different, isn't it? CB, like that. Anyway, so there is some rhyming also here. So let us discuss about the poem first. These 9-line stanzas, these are also known as Spenserian stanzas. This is a style of writing. In those times, they used to call this type of stanzas as Spenserian stanzas because first time a poet, Edmund Spenser, he wrote this type of in this style. He used to write his poetry. So this style is called as Spenserian style of writing poem. Okay. So nowadays in modern poetry, they don't follow most of these rules and pattern. They are not like this. But this is during those 1800s poetry. Okay, so now let us discuss about the poem as such. The sun is warm, the sky is clear, the waves are dancing bright, blue isles and snowy mountains where the purple noon's transparent might. So what is he discussing in this first stanza? What is he talking about? What is the poet discussing in the first stanza? Yes, say something, students. What is the poet talking about in the first stanza? The sun, the sky, the waves. What is he talking about? Yes?
Sky.
The beauty of nature.
Yes, that is what. Yes. He is speaking about the beauty of nature, his surrounding, the beautiful scenery around him. He is talking about the nature. So he is discussing about the sun, the sky, the beautiful waves there which are dancing fast and bright, the blue isles. Isles means what? Isles, ISLES, isles are islands. So he is talking about the blue islands which you can see from far. So blue islands, the snowy mountains, and how are they looking? The blue isles and snowy mountains, how are they looking? How do they appear? How do they appear? The blue islands and snowy mountains, they appear purple in color under the noon sunlight, afternoon. It is an afternoon and the bright sunlight reflecting on these islands and the snowy mountains, they all look purple in color for the poet. The purple knows transparent might. So under the transparent might means the might of the sunlight. So under the sunlight, these all appear purple in color. The breath of the moist earth is light around its unexpanded buds. What does it mean? What does it mean? Unexpanded buds means the buds which have not opened up, they are just ready to bloom. Okay, they're getting ready to bloom. So who nurtures these buds? Who nurtures these flowers? Yes? Who takes care of these buds? Come on. Who takes care of the buds? The moist earth. So the breath of the moist earth surrounding these buds, that is what is nurturing these buds to bloom and become flowers. Like many, a voice of one delight. Delight means what? What do you mean by delight?
Lightful.
Pleasure.
Yes, pleasure, joy, happiness. And what are those voices of delight? What are the voices of delight?
Jelleman.
Yes? Someone is saying, not able to get it.
Winds, birds.
Yes. Yes.
Chirping bird.
Yes. So what are those voices, those sounds which give joy to the poet? The sound of the winds, the ocean, waves, the birds chirping, and the distant voices of the city. So the city voice also, they are also having a very soothing effect, a comforting effect. They are soft like solitude. Now, what do you mean by solitude? What do you mean by solitude? In the glossary, it is written as solitude means a state or situation of being alone. So why did this poet come to the seashore? Why do you think he came to the seashore? Why did the poet come to the seashore? Any guess? I want answers, students. I don't want a monologue where I keep on talking and then I don't get any response.
To relax, ma'am.
Very good, very good. You all know the answers. I don't know why you don't come out. You all know very well what are the answers. Yes. So he came here only to get some relief, some relaxation from his troubles and his problems. So he just want to get some solitude. What is the meaning of solitude? Being all alone with oneself so that you get some time to recover. Okay. So a solitude means being alone. There is a difference between saying alone and lonely. What is the feeling of being alone and what is the feeling of being lonely? What is the difference? What is the difference?
Ma'am, feeling lone is about means the time spent with ourselves, and loneliness is the like something depression and all that.
Yes. Loneliness means a feeling of insecurity, depression, where you feel someone was there with me. I wish I had some friends around, someone to speak to me. So I'm feeling very lonely. So that is loneliness is different. Being alone means, oh, he stays alone in an apartment, means he lives on his own. Okay, that is being alone. So here solitude also means to be alone, want to be alone so that I can brood over my problems and I stay and try to find solution for my problems. So that is being solitude, to be having that privacy and staying alone. That is what is the poet wants. So a poet has come to this seashore and being close to nature, being close to sea, ocean, or forest, or you go to the hills, hill station somewhere, you spend time in the hills. So does it have a good effect on people? Does it have a relaxing effect on people when they go there? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes. So people go there to get some good, good vibes and a good feeling. So they go to such places away from the city busy, the city life. So that is what the poet also has done. Let us go to the next stanza. Is the first stanza clear now? First stanza, is it clear? Shall we go to the
Yes,
second?
ma'am.
Yeah. So the first one, he is describing about the beauty of the nature around him, the beautiful sun, the sky, the waves dancing, and the far away islands and snowy mountains, all in a purple color under the sunlight, bright sunlight. The beautiful flowers are budding with the love of the moist earth around, and he hears beautiful sounds of the winds, birds, all these, and they all give a very positive effect for his solitude. So he came here for some solitude, and all this is giving him a very positive influence for his solitude. I see the deep's untrampled floor with green and purple seaweed strewn. I see the waves upon the shore like light dissolved in star showers thrown. So what does he mean by deep's untrampled floor? What is he referring to here? Deep. What is deep?
Seabed.
Yes, very good. Yes. Deep means the sea, and the trampled floor, untrampled floor means the floor of the sea, seabed. So he is telling that it is untrampled. Trample means you walk over and you stamp all the things that are on the floor. You spoil and stamp and walk over something. So that is trampling. So untrampled sea floor, seabed. So where no one has walked, no one has gone. So now he claims, he says that see the deep, the seabed is untrampled with green and purple seaweeds, seaweeds strewn. Means the trampled, the seabed is covered with green and purple seaweeds, and it is so pure and pristine. No human beings have gone there and they have spoiled that place. So it is totally very pristine and clear, the seabed. Then I see the waves upon the shore. So when you have been to a seashore, you know that the waves keep on coming to the seashore. They go back and again they come back. They go back and they again come back. So this is periodically the waves keep on coming. Now like light dissolved in star showers thrown. So what does he mean by this? He says that the sunlight, the bright sunlight is falling on these waves, and mixed with these waves, they give that sparkle to the waves and they come to the shore like star showers, as if it is showering stars. So the beautiful light is dancing on these waves and it is appears like star showers. Where is the poet? The poet, where is he sitting? Where is the poet?
On the beach.
Yeah, on the beach. He's sitting on the sands on the beach and he is watching all this. And he says the lightning of the noontide ocean. Tide, you know? What is a tide? Noon means afternoon. What is the tide? You must have learnt it in
Yeah.
school. Yes? Yeah, tides are also waves, but they are bigger waves, huge big waves compared to the normal waves that keep coming all through the day and night. These tides are very huge big waves. So the tides. So the in a flash, the lightning of the noontide ocean. So like a flash, like a lightning means with lot of speed, tide has come, noontide which flashes around him, and a tone arises from its measured motion. And a tone arises from its measured motion. What do you mean by measured? Measured motion is referring to what? What is he referring? Measured motion of the waves. Okay, so and from its measured motion, that means periodic motion, the periodic regularly, there is no stop, no pause, the waves keep on coming and going back, coming and going back, so they're never steady or stable. The water keeps on moving and comes in the form of waves. So in this the tide which comes like a flash around him, and it whispers something, and it what does it tell? What does it tell? The waves, what do they tell? What does the poet feel the waves are telling him? How sweet. Did any heart now share in my emotion? So the poet feels that waves are asking him, is there anyone to share my emotion, share my feelings? So actually it is like what the poet only is feeling. The poet feels that this is such a nice day, a wonderful day. I wish I had someone here with me who could share I mean, and share my emotions, share my feelings, someone who could be with me on this day. So that is what is about the second stanza. So in the second stanza, he says, he claims to see even the seabed of the seabed, and he says that the seabed is so clear and pristine, covered by the green and purple seaweeds where no human beings have gone and spoiled it. And the waves, they keep coming like star showers with the light mixed. I mean, the waves are sparkling with the sunlight and they come like star showers. And then the noontide ocean, I mean the noontides, they come flashing and they whisper to him. What do they whisper? Is there anyone to share my emotions? Second stanza, is it clear, students? Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yes. So third stanza, I think someone can explain. It is not so difficult. Anyone would make a try? Third stanza. Anyone would like to try explaining? Alas, I have nor hope nor health, no